I mean, shouldn't it be Destiel?
Really? That's your issue with this?
No, of course it's not my issue. Cass Dean?
Shut your face. Get in the car.
Hey guys, it's Bob West, and I'm here today to drag you through part 9 of watching me slowly go insane. Hey, we're over the halfway point. If you haven't watched the other 8 videos, maybe do that. Or don't. I don't know your life. Today we'll be looking at Destiel beats in Season 10 of Supernatural. Season 9 ended up with Cass locking up God's pencil pusher and Dean going dark side. The beginning of this season is focused primarily on finding and containing Dean. Dean, for the most part, is partying. A touch more sexually open, but you know what they say, it's not gay if it's in a 5-way, or whatever. Cass is, dying a slow and awful death. Sam is still working off Jared's failed attempts to wrestle a prophet, and they're both struggling through this. The start of this season has Cass trying to track down and force a couple of peaceful, out-of-the-woods angels back to heaven, which feels more than a little weird to me, but whatever. He then tries to head up and help Sam with Dean while simultaneously trying to dodge Hannah's advances. His conversation with Sam is rough. Sam is worried that he's killing Dean with the demon cure and wants to stop, and Cass sticks up for what Dean would have wanted. He'd rather be dead than a demon. He fairly nearly doesn't make it, but Crowley saves Cass in an attempt to contain Dean, and he does. He jumps in just in time to save Sam and drag Dean back into being cured, and he shoulders some of Sam's worry during the final steps of turning Dean human. On their first reunion post-demon, they have a bit of a touching moment. They fall back into their normal patterns. Dean's checking up on Cass and asking if he's okay, if his grace is sorted, and Cass provides comfort to Dean, sort of stepping in and assuring him things are going to be okay.
Looking good. So, when you're back?
At least temporarily. Yeah, it's a long story. Crowley, stolen grace, there's a female outside in the car. Another time.
Well, thank you for, stepping in when you did. What does Sam say? Do you want a divorce?
I'm sure Sam knows that whatever you said, or what you did, it wasn't really you. It certainly wasn't all you.
Tried to kill him, Cass.
Dean, you two have been through so much. Look, you're brothers. Take a lot more than trying to kill Sam with a hammer to make him want to walk away.
You realize how screwed up our lives are, that even makes sense. I'm glad you're here, man.
Hey, maybe you should, take some time before you get back to work. Allow yourself to heal. It's, I don't know. Timing might be right. Heaven and hell, they seem reasonably back in order. It's quiet out there.
Fan fiction is too much to go into. Dean's properly flustered at the sight of him and Cass hugging. Then, whose idea was this? Notable takeaway, after Dean tells Sam about it, he doesn't hesitate at all about the idea of Dean and Cass together romantically. Dean is on the defensive immediately, but Sam isn't thrown one bit. He's just like, gee, I wonder where they got that idea from. Cass calls Sam and Dean back when Claire ditches him, and Sam goes to ask around the group home, and Dean throws up a thin excuse that they're going to stick around just in case she circles back. Once alone, he jumps in, trying to get an idea of what Cass is up to and what's going on with him. He tries to get Cass to sort of forgive himself a little, which works about as well as when Cass tells him to do the same. This whole scene is just so good. They're open and comfortable, they're talking to each other. Cass is bordering on smitten. This is a rare time they get an extended conversation. Things tip dark when Dean asks Cass to be the one that take him out if he steps out of line again. It's a big request, and one of trust and hope, one that Cass is nowhere near prepared to accept, but he tries. This sets up the tone for how freaked Cass is about Dean for the rest of the season. Sidebar, when Cass is just full-on strangling a teenager, Dean just casually walks up and basically cheers him on. Then, just hours later, Dean full-on butchers a room full of humans, and Cass is terrified. Dean just asked him to take him out if he goes too far, and here he is kneeling in a pool of blood surrounded by sliced-up corpses, pretty far gone. I also want to take a second to shout out the character development in Sam and Cass's friendship this season. They get a lot closer in their shared concern for Dean, and keep in touch, really working in a joint effort to pull him back from the brink. Cass decides to interrogate Metatron to try to save Dean and try to avoid the fate of having to kill Dean. Bless Cass's blatant concern over the first blade being brought back.
The first blade is back in play and Crowley is the one getting it. I don't mean to be an alarmist, but
Yeah, well, you know us. When we screw ourselves, we like to go whole hog.
this would be the Crowley who let the blade turn Dean into a demon?
Another sidebar. Dean doesn't agree that Cass should be getting tangled up with Claire's life, but he spends a lot of this season trying his best to help Cass anyway. Then, in a role reversal, Cass goes on a swing of torturing demons for information on Kane in the hopes to force his help with Dean. He finds the graves and calls Dean immediately, and even amidst the inherent danger of the situation, he still confronts Kane about Dean.
How's Dean, by the way? I hear he did good. Took Abaddon down. He's not well.
Even with the first blade hidden, Dean is losing his fight against the Mark. If we don't find a cure...
There is no cure. I'm living proof of that.
Dean decides he has to kill Kane, and Cass is watching, knowing the likelihood that he is going to have to stop Dean, that Dean's request to be taken off the board is about to come to be. The original script had Crowley needling Cass about his relationship to Dean.
Looking a little wan there, Cassie? How's that grace of yours holding up?
It's fine, Crowley. I'm fine.
Sure. The clock's ticking again, isn't it? So heroic. Running errands all over the US, burning through that rather finite supply of grace, all in a desperate effort to save your boyfriend.
And Cass looks on as Dean takes the blade and goes for it. Kane warns him, telling him he's going to end up killing Cass as he loses himself to the Mark, but Dean comes out of the fight more or less intact, and he entrusts the blade to Cass, who immediately shifts to stand at his side, and Sam and Cass continue to worry. I'll be real, I don't know what this confessional scene is supposed to be about. It certainly can be read as Dean regretful at not having explored his feelings with Cass as much as he'd like, but I'm not sure if that's what they were trying to go for. After Dean starts really getting worse, Sam goes to Cass yet again, and the two plot to get Metatron for another go at removing the Mark. Cass is reluctant, but willing to do literally anything to help Dean, even this crazy attack on Heaven. God, it was so nice to see Bobby again. Also, bless this entire fucking scene.
We have your grace, Metatron. You're mortal now. So you will answer our questions, or Sam will, what's the phrase? Blow your frickin' brains out. It's called leverage, Metatron.
Learn it, live it, love it.
Sidebar to appreciate Charlie talking to Cass about the Mark, only to be interrupted by Dean, who is just so relieved that Cass has his own grace back and is no longer dying. And I know it's complicated because of everything that's going on, but look how happy this fucking tiny family is. Fuck. And then back to Claire. Again, Dean is being incredibly supportive of Cass in this, despite his reservations. He agrees to help Cass try and track down Claire's mother for her. My favorite bit here, though, they finish scaring this guy in the bar, and then before they go back to the motel, Cass had to bring up that he wanted to get Claire a birthday present, with likely no clue what to possibly get, and Dean had to agree to help him. Probably when asked, he was just like, I don't know, she's an edgy teenager, what do they like? And then Dean took Cass to Hot Topic to buy this stuffed cat for Claire, and I'm so sad that this canonical event happened off screen. And after that, Dean tries his best to reconcile with Claire and to explain that Cass saved the world because of her dad's sacrifice. In the end, Claire sort of is at peace with them.
Will you keep an eye on him? He's been through enough.
Not long after, Sam has roped Cass into secretly helping decode the Book of the Damned against Dean's express wishes to try to remove the mark, and Cass is as smooth as ever while trying not to tip off Dean.
Cass?
Sam.
No, it's Dean.
What's up?
Nothing. I'm just staying in touch. Like I do.
Something on your mind?
No. This call is pointless. My ride's here.
In deleted scenes, and even in scenes that made it to screen, Rowena talks about Cass and Crowley being hopelessly devoted and infatuated with Dean.
Are you joking?
No. That would be uncharacteristic of me. Although I have been told that I'm getting funnier.
My son, aside from being a noxious blowhard, suffers from the same malady as you, I'm afraid. Winchester derangement syndrome.
Is that so? Well, I feel fine.
Please. An angel of the Lord, the King of Hell, more power than I could possibly dream of, utterly wasted, shattered at the altar of Winchester. I may be the one in chains, but the two of you are just as much a prisoner as I. It saddens me. No. It totally sickens me to see so much power go unspent, so much glory unclaimed.
Glory? Oh, I've seen glory. And I've seen defeat, but I have seen the glory. I have won epic battles, and I have reaped vast rewards. And none of it has meant as much to me as the relationships that I've formed on Earth.
Cass really digs in his heels after Charlie dies, but Sam manages to convince him that they need to keep going and asks Cass to go keep an eye on Dean. Cass standing in the Steins amongst all the dead bodies, not just of the Steins, but their paid security. His expression is one of dread. He's pretty sure this is it. This is the moment where Dean crosses the line and he might have to stop him. In another Colette parallel, yeah, you guys convinced me, he asks Dean to stop. When the moment counts, Cass really can't follow through on Dean's request, and once he fails to restrain Dean, he doesn't fight back. The unfortunate struggle of an angel who doesn't want to hurt Dean and a souped-up, semi-demonic Dean who doesn't mind hurting Cass at all. Dean mops the floor with him and very nearly actually kills him, but at the last moment, Cass's hand on his arm and plea stop him, and he manages to just barely pull back. In the original teaser for the last episode, filmed and everything, the guilt of Cass invades his dreams. He looks over and sees Cass as he left him, and he tries to shake it off, but it mirrors what happens later in the motel room. His guilt and fear over Cass, and a little bit Rudy, are what convince him to finally give up and go to death in the first place. In a last-ditch effort, Cass goes to Crowley, knowing that Crowley is frankly also in love with Dean and will help do this despite the fact that Sam basically just tried to kill him yesterday. And by their powers combined, boom, Mark of Cain sorted, more or less. This season had a lot of gems. I think the seasons only get gayer from here on out, but I haven't sat down and combed through them yet. Next week we'll be diving into season 11 and all that has to offer. In the next week, I'm going to post a short video addressing a few things I missed that you guys wanted me to touch on, and as usual, y'all can email me at bobbertwes@gmail.com, and you should follow my Ko-fi account. Link is in the description. I use funds from Ko-fi to offset expenses and allow myself to spend a little more time working on videos. I've had a couple people suggest I do a Patreon, but I'm kind of new to all this, so I'm not sure. But anyway, even if you don't donate to the Ko-fi page, you should follow it. I like to throw some stills and some doodles there, as well as preview upcoming video titles. And then, of course, I ask that you give this video a like, and if you haven't already, subscribe. And I'll see you guys next week.